What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is the eve of the Super Bowl and the end of the NFL season. And tomorrow, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. Will be live streaming the game. We'll have our exclusive Philly 500 Meltdown cam, and we're hoping and praying that we see Philly 500 Meltdown. I am rooting for the Dallas Texans. If you know your NFL history, you know that there was a team called the Dallas Texans that ended up going and becoming the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's the team that I'm hoping for in this Super Bowl, the Dallas Texans. Because, hey, at least they got roots from Dallas. So in some kind of way, we can live vicariously through them. So, it is the offseason for us. It is now what we do between now and training camp that's going to make all the difference. You know, one of the problems I see that the Cowboys made for a couple of reasons, and I touched on it today a little bit when we were having our live stream. The NFL has changed. It used to be you had all the mini camps and everything else. You ended up having like 6 weeks of training camps with 2-a-days, a special team practice. All those days are gone because of the collective bargaining agreements where they realize that the veterans that are helping to negotiate, they don't want to practice. And in order to get that 17th game, in order to get the concessions that they wanted, like, you know, keeping the players from being able to hold out, they had to give up some of the practices. And in the end, they don't care about practice. You know, the only thing they care about is making more money with the NFL. That's the bottom line. That is. And so the problem is, you don't have much time to get your team together. And if you're changing offenses or defense, you don't have that much time to get it put in. And the Cowboys make it harder because they don't go out early in free agency and bring in guys that are able to be there for all those OTAs. When you think about the moves the Cowboys make, they make it like at training camp or during training camp, or training camp is over during the season. And you don't have time for those guys to practice. To understand this, you have to understand that you only have 14 padded practices in training camp. That's it. And if you've gone to training camp like I did this past year, I got there on Monday, which was the first padded practice, okay? Tuesday was a padded practice. Wednesday was a walkthrough scrimmage. Thursday was an off day. Friday, I think, was a padded practice. And then Saturday, I think they traveled. And I think they came back on Monday. But they can't have 3 padded practices days in a row. So this means you need to get the players you need in sooner than later. And that is just against what the Joneses do. They don't believe in making those moves until later. You know, by hook or by crook, they know if they let their free agents go, if they wait until May before they sign anybody, then they can go ahead and get compensatory picks. But here you have the Dallas Cowboy players. The Cowboy players want to win the Super Bowl. Let's be clear about that. This is no, I'm just happy to be, a guy with the star on the side of his head and have all the media here and everything else. They want to win, and they are literally begging for help. They are letting Jerry Jones know, we need help. The question will be is, will Jerry Jones listen? Have you been listening? Think about it. You've had CeeDee Lamb talking about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's our guy. We know he's our guy. We need more weapons around him. CD is saying that. CD says we need weapons for Dak. Gotcha. Got Trayvon Diggs. Diggs, go get my brother. I want to play with my brother, and he's a great player that will help our team. That will be a weapon. Boom. You got Micah Parsons, who is becoming the face of the Dallas Cowboys right now. Micah Parsons saying, go get defensive tackle Daron Payne. Shout out to Cole's Cowboy. Cole's Cowboy, you said in Twitter a couple of days ago, Daron Payne wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. Now, he is a free agent, but the Washington Commanders left hand up, who they're saying expect the sale of the team sometime in the next couple of weeks after the Super Bowl. They're also saying, or at least Sean Payton is saying, that some of the ownership groups that were bidding on the team contacted him about being the coach of said Commanders. Also, too, some of the Commander faithful that hate the team are thinking it's going to end up being Jeff Bezos, who's just letting the little people bid on the team, and then he's after they get their best numbers, he'll scoop in and take the team. But you got the fans out there asking him to right the wrong that is the name the Commanders and change the name of the team. Be that as it may, they could franchise tag him. I don't know if they'll pay him the long-term contract, but you got Micah Parsons saying, we want help. You've got former players out there saying Dak is enough, but you need to get rid of that whack coordinator, like Emmitt Smith said, which we did because of the play calling. But he's also gone on and said you need Tony Pollard, you need Zeke, and you need some more weapons. So if you've got the players that are saying, hey, Jerry, we need some more firepower. Hey, Jerry, we need another big defensive lineman. Hey, Jerry, we need help to win it all. They recognize to compete with the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, those teams, the San Francisco 49ers, we don't have enough, and Jerry has not done enough. The question will be is, will Jerry Jones listen? Will he listen? It's not freaking rocket science. You can blame the quarterback all you want. You can blame Kellen Moore all you want. But in the end, when you have great players on the field, it makes it that much easier for the quarterback. It makes it that much easier on the play caller. Because, see, what was crazy about the 90s, and people will always say, well, Norv Turner, he was a genius. Well, when you had the number one defense that should have had its second Hall of Fame player off of it on the defense, and Darren Woodson, the Dallas Cowboys' all-time leading tackler, along with Charles Haley, when you had a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Michael Irvin, a Hall of Fame offensive lineman in Larry Allen, the NFL leading rusher and Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, and a Hall of Fame quarterback on there, you just have more weapons and more firepower than anybody else. And when you have those things, everybody looks better. The quarterback looks better because somebody is always going to be open. Somebody's always going to be open. When you're the running back and you've got the best offensive line in football that takes no shit from anybody, that is literally telling people, we're running the ball right here and you can't stop us, you can run the ball pretty good as a running back. You just can. And when you can open up holes that a tractor trailer can get in, with a running back who can run for days, then your safeties and cornerbacks have to help stop the run, which means that your Hall of Fame playmaking wide receiver is going to get one-on-one coverage, in which case he will feast on people, and I believe the man is innocent on top of all the other bullshit out there, and you are innocent until proven guilty, not the likewise with him being suspended by ESPN, the four-letter word network, and the NFL network. They both wronged him, and I hope that he is exonerated. We have the cries, the pleas, the begging of the players, of the former players, of the fans that recognize we need more than just the draft. The only problem is you've got two people that make that decision. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Doesn't matter what any of those players thinks. Doesn't matter what any of those former players think. It doesn't matter what you and me think or all know. It's those two guys right there that hold their future in their hands. I was describing abusive relationships. And see, when you're in an abusive relationship, when you've been wronged and that person, gets caught, they always promise you and say, oh, I'm sorry, that was a one-time thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I will do better. It's like Jerry Jones constantly saying, I can't fire me, the GM and things. I must change. I will change. I got it. And then doesn't. And then the next year we hear the same thing. When you're in an abusive relationship, they are insanely jealous of everything you do. And that's where you see Jerry Jones firing or letting Kellen Moore go 20 minutes after the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl. The same guy, when Jimmy Johnson is at the pinnacle of everything that he has done in his life, that Jerry Jones has to try and steal some of the thunder by saying you're going to be in the Ring of Honor. And then doesn't do it. And then plays with your emotions about it. You're just begging. He's just begging. Controlling others. That will for power. We're in an abusive relationship. Sometimes I feel like he enjoys tricking with our emotions. It's not rocket science. And as we look through the night, going through the preseason poll, all of these same people that are saying that the Dallas Cowboys are a disappointment are the same people that said we were ranked anywhere from 10th to 21st before the season started. They said the Cowboys had the worst offseason in their history. That they're still a good team, but they definitely took some steps back. They're the same people that are now saying they're a disappointment. They should have won the Super Bowl. It's funny that they don't talk about the Buffalo Bills that they had ranked number 1 as the best team in football. And their ass lost at home the same weekend we did, but they don't talk about that. And I digress from my original thesis here. If we are going to be playing in February, there's only one way to get there. The Cowboys have to change what they're doing. They have to get reinforcements. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's just not. Now, we had the worst offseason in Cowboys history. How about we try and make this one the best offseason in Cowboys history. It's up to you, Jerry. It's up to you. I know from the standpoint, everything's good for you. You've got the most valuable franchise, not in the NFL, in all of sports in the world, without having to win. You got more money than your great grandkids will ever be able to spend. You got, a white helicopter and a blue hell, I'm surprised you don't have a gray one. I mean, a silver one. You got a 330-foot long yacht. You own buildings across the country. Clearly, you're doing great. But there's us out here, guys like me, who literally sell the Dallas Cowboys hope. Who literally take shit. And I mean shit, Jerry. You don't know how much it hurts me. Jerry, we've seen each other several times at the commissioner party. Yeah, you're probably there right now. Going to Super Bowls since the first one in Houston. Going there year after year, watching the Giants beat New England twice. Watching the Eagles lose to New England and then beat them. Watching Tampa Bay win them. Watching, Tom Brady over and over and over and over. Seeing teams like the Carolina Panthers go to 2. Seeing the Arizona Cardinals go. Seeing Aaron freaking Rodgers win in our stadium, Jerry. Win the Super Bowl in our home. Seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers win a couple of them, Jerry. Seeing Peyton Manning, seeing the New Orleans Saints, teams that were literally the doormats of the freaking NFL. And I'm still here toting the line, telling people next year it's going to be better. It's going to be better. We're going to do things better. And damn it, we all know what you got to do. The players know. The former players, we all know. Can you try it just once? Can you stop selling us this bullshit of the long game? Because the long game has been shit. I think to a man out there, I don't necessarily speak for all Cowboy fans, but if you're telling me we could win the Super Bowl and then we got to go for a year or two of having some down years, I'm betting that 95% of us Cowboy fans would be happy with that. I know I would. I know every time I go see my dad and we're talking about football, and he shakes his head and he's like, are we ever going to get another one? I keep the faith, Jerry. But it's hard out here, man. It's hard. Whew. Another freaking Super Bowl. Yeah. It's on you, Jerry. I hope y'all have had a good weekend. And it's Super Bowl weekend. And we're left out in the cold again. Remember to tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. I love you guys and you ladies. Jerry, please listen. Please listen It's not to me and the other fans out here. Listen to your players.